Hey, thanks for stopping by. I want to say a little bit more about a term I mentioned in class today. It's liminality. When we talk about the liminal, we're talking about a threshold moment in someone's life. Threshold is where the word comes from. If you can see the door behind me, the frame around the door is its threshold. And a threshold moment is when you're stepping um, through a moment and you're moving from one phase of life into another. We see this in characters in the novels that we're reading, and we see it in our own lives. Let me give a quick example. Years ago, I worked my way through college. I delivered pizzas for Domino's, and then I also worked with youth groups. I always liked kids, and so there was a kid I knew who was 12 years old, and his mom told me this story. His name's Kevin, and Judy, his mom, told me this story. Kevin had just come into the youth group, and he was nervous around all the older kids in the group. And for his 13th birthday, then he asked for like a boombox, a stereo, because he wanted to be able to listen to the songs that the other kids knew. You know, the older kids all knew these same songs. He just knew the stupid stuff his parents listened to. And so he wanted to learn some of the popular music. So Judy took him to the mall. They're walking. She told me they were walking down the concourse of the mall, and they're walking towards Radio Shack or whatever store they were going to get the stereo at. And they passed by this toy store. So they're walking by the toy store, and in the window, Kevin sees a display of Transformers. All right, and they're built and they look, it's just the most amazing display that you could ever imagine. And Judy said that as they walked by, he looked and she said his head just swiveled as they passed by the toy store. Now, in that moment, is Kevin a budding teenager who wants to go get a stereo? Or is he the little boy who still loves toys? Well, the answer is both. He was both. He was in a liminal moment right then, moving from one stage of life into another. Now, this is what we're going to see in story after story that we read, because these are the big moments that stories are built on, when a character moves from one moment into another and it changes them. And then it's the same thing that we go through ourselves. You may feel right now like you're not exactly a teenager anymore, but you're not exactly a full-blown adult, and you have a foot in each world. In fact, 4 years of college, that's pretty much a big threshold moment there when you're going to move, when you're going to transition into this new part of yourself. And then when you graduate from college, that's going to be another liminal moment, and you've got to figure out what that means. Right now, I'm in a liminal moment. My youngest son just went to college, and I got to figure out what to do with that. I don't get up and make him breakfast anymore, and he doesn't have high school games that I go watch. So who am I now? I'm in this liminal moment figuring out I used to be that kind of a dad. Now I'm a different kind of a dad. One more example. What a lot of college students experience is they go to college and they start getting all this new information and these new ways to look at the world, and they love their parents and they want to honor their parents and they love their tradition and their culture and where they've come from, but at the same time, a lot of what they're hearing kind of makes sense too, and not all of it fits in with or matches what their parents have always taught them and told them. I don't know if that's your experience, but if so, what do you do with that liminality that you're experiencing? The answer? I don't know. You got to figure that out. Here's what I will say, though. To you, to me, in this liminal moment, I think what we are asked to do when we are in the midst of liminality is to be there. We're supposed to remain there. We're not supposed to try to fight our way back and avoid growing. At the same time, we're not supposed to rush ourselves forward and say, oh, now I got to figure this out and become this new person. We've got to be where we are. We've got to live that, experience it. And the more that we're willing to do that, the more that the liminality can help us grow towards what we're supposed to grow. Sorry to preach there at the end. I'll step off the pulpit now. I think you get the idea.